and with distinct impact on the learning process.
Alright, so now we're just going to drop in one question and then we'll do some basic text. So we go back to our clip panel by clicking on that tab. It's called Sample Project. And we are going to get question 1. I'm going to double click. Where is my question 1? Oh, there it is. Okay, so here is my question 1 clip. I can drag along here to kind of preview my clip ahead of time by grabbing this yellow little triangle here along this preview edit window that we have. And so at this point in time, I'm going to grab this bar down here so I can kind of go towards the end of my sequence. Notice how that works. So just grab that, drag that about, and so I click up here and I pull my question 1 clip down here. Alright, and so as before, I can kind of see where my audio is, which kind of dictates where my question is. And I'm just going to go ahead and, without even watching it, cut around the audio because it kind of gives us a nice little outline to what we're dealing with without wasting a bunch of time, because editing can be time intensive if we edit the hard way. So I can get rid of the areas I know I'm not going to use, and now I'm going to play.
How is technology affecting the learning process?
Alright, so I want that, and I am going to just get rid of these 2 clips because I just want that first question. And now I'm going to find my answer, and I'm going to drag it down, and as before, and as you grab your arrow, you can push the screen to the left like I was doing by scrubbing to the left. And this one I'm not so sure. Like,
technology.
so as we can see, you kind of had some mess ups here.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, and usually when people answer their questions, they have that proverbial before the answer begins. So we're just going to snip that out. We don't need any of this, and then we're going to click here and we're going to close that gap, which is a nice workflow right there. Saves you a lot of time. And as we can see, this is where his answer ends. I'm going to drop a cut there, get rid of that. And so as we can see,
I think technology affects the learning process
right there,
by
nice and
making things
smooth.
easier. I think
One thing to note when you're dealing with editing video, you don't always have to use a transition, especially when you're doing sound bites such as we're dealing with right now with kind of a traditional interview. But since right here,
how is technology affecting the learning?
It goes from, you know, a different scene to a new scene. That kind of indicates the need for a transition. So once again, we'll go to Effects, we'll drop down Dissolves, and we'll go to our Fade In, Fade Out tool. And see, I'm kind of placing it right in between them. It will join these 2 clips together. I can also shorten it. And as I grab this, it leaves a little pop-up window. And as you can see, it gives us a new duration. Now dealing with video, video is 30 frames per second, and so we're going to go with a half a second transition, so that'll be roughly around 15, 18 is close enough. And then we'll play.
How is technology affecting the learning process?
I think technology affects the learning process by making.
Okay, so we have that. Good thing to do when dealing with video once you make a few edits is to save. Now to save your project, you just go to Save and already hit Command S, which saved it because sometimes, you know, Murphy's Law hits and a project will crash. So now we're just going to fade out after that first question. drop that there, queue up,
Information easier to access.
and that kind of cuts him off as he's talking, so I'm going to grab it and pull it.
Information easier to access.
And that still kind of cuts him off a little bit, so I'm going to shorten it up a little bit more, queue
Information
back.
easier to access.
And that's not ideal. So we're going to zoom in a little bit by clicking, and then I'm hitting Command plus. Zooms this in a little bit more, and I'm able to get a little bit more precise with my fade
Easier to
out.
access.
Alright, so not the best usable. Generally that wouldn't be the end of our piece. But for our little short demo today, that's going to be the last clip we're using. And we'll come back here. And so we'll throw a, we'll end up with some little B-roll action from our little nifty clip at the beginning. So I want to use this just like in a word processing program. I can copy a clip. So I'm going to go to Edit, Copy, or you can hit Command C, whichever you're comfortable with. And where I place my playhead is where it will paste it. So I can go to Edit, Paste, or hit Apple V. So I'm just going to hit Apple V because I'm a hotkey kind of person. And now we're just going to